What's going on? Welcome back to Copenhagen Blue. There are certain jobs that you put off for what seems like an eternity. For me, it's the starter on the Saturn. I haven't wanted to do it. I bought it a long time ago, long enough that there's actually dust on the box. But I have to get it done. It's buried up at the back side of the motor, above the K-frame. I don't want to do it, and I'm hoping with some risers for the front wheels I can get enough room under there to get to the bolts and not have to do a whole bunch of disassembly. So I guess let's get started.
Something you don't see every day.
So before you disconnect the starter, always disconnect the battery. And of course, I failed to do that, so now we get to climb. Okay, time to do some sketchy shit. I just played around and I thought I had an idea, so I jacked up the back end, as you can see, all the bits of the car on the ground. But that's solid. So I wouldn't recommend doing this. I mean, it seems like it works pretty well. Definitely is going to give me better access than I expected. But let's go for a journey and see where the starter is here. As we come down and we come around backwards. Yeah, look at that. That's good, isn't it? I don't want to do a K-member, but I have a feeling that I'm going to. So tucked up there behind the steering rack is the starter. Just kind of buried in there. So all I've been able to determine so far is that it's an e-torque socket. So we're going to see if we can put it on there and hopefully get it out. So we know now we're dealing with a 14mm e-torques. So lo and behold, turns out that I wasn't going to be able to use the e-torques, so we're going to use a 7/16 wrench and see if it'll allow us to get the bolt free. Okay, that one came free. We're on to a good start. Now if I just get to the back one back here, make sure that breaks free, which is, in my opinion, going to be impossible because of the way it's positioned. We're going to try and that's going to be a bitch. Okay. Oh, this is a start. Let's see. Alright. So we're going to try and get some sockets to get those nuts off so we can disconnect the wires. I've got to disconnect at least that, and that. So we have a line that goes to the alternator, the one directly from the battery, and the one that goes to the ignition. A lot of these connections are really gross, so I'm going to try and scrub this this stuff off, get better access to the nuts. So we're going to take off the bolt that connects the starter wire to the alternator. Okay, well, after a crap ton of fighting and work, 2 bolts and a couple nuts, and the starter's out. Talk about a pain in the butt. I don't look forward to putting it back in, but fingers crossed, it goes in way easier than it came out. I don't know if it's the solenoid itself that's just bad on this. You can see there's quite a bit of heat marks, so obviously when this thing gets hot, it doesn't restart. That's my problem the entire time. You can start it once when it's cold, and then once it's hot, it doesn't want to restart anymore. So let's try and put the old one in. Fingers crossed it goes quick. To put the starter back in, which is the way it came out, we're going to sneak it up by the swing bar itself. And then turn it. And I kind of have it up in there. And we'll hook up the wires and turn it around. That thing sucks. It's a pain in the butt. There's no easy way to do this. Now I don't regret putting it off, because no matter what, I don't want to do it. Apparently is also a 13mm. Now that we have our starter hooked back up, a moment of truth. Let's feed it some power here. Honestly, wasn't the best job in the world. Certainly wasn't the worst, but I made it kind of harder on myself because I should have disconnected all the lines first. I thought it'd be easier to get the starter out and then get my angle on the lines.
Now, you know what? You thought wrong.
And that didn't help me. So work smarter, not harder. But if you ever do this job, take the lines off, undo the bolts. Either way, sometimes you just have to do the hard way to learn that there's an easier way to do it. Appreciate you taking the time to watch. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.